In today's video, we're going to cover motor replacement on your 40-inch or 24-inch actuator. The current actuator you're looking at is manufactured by Venture. Norco also runs some of the actuators manufactured by Tucson. So depending on your motor on the actuator you're running, the repair could be slightly different, but for the most part, it's just removing a couple of bolts in order to get the motor housing and assembly off of the actuator itself. To locate where your actuator is mounted underneath your RV, simply go to the outside underneath the slide where the actuator is passing through your main rail on the outside of the RV, underneath the slide box. Do the best that you can to follow that seam or that pattern where that tube's coming through along your underbelly, if underbelly is present, till you're at least right past that halfway point or the center of the RV. From there, you're going to make yourself a cutout, three-sided, fold the underbelly under itself and out of the way, exposing the actuator, the mounting bracket, and the motor itself. Like I said, for this video, this is a Venture actuator. It has two mounting points. It has a 1/2 inch bolt mounted in the bottom, and then another one 180 degrees from here located at the top right before the subfloor. You'll have to remove both of those bolts in order to remove the motor assembly from the actuator itself. So we'll start with that. We got our 1/2 inch speed wrench here. And we're going to break these nuts loose, these bolts loose. These are like a tap tight bolt or self-threading. Once we remove the bottom bolt, set that off to the side. You want to make sure you don't lose those. And then we're going to go to the top side and do the same thing. May be a little difficult to reach. Just gonna want to get on that bolt, remove it. Once removed, now you can go ahead and take the motor assembly. You may have to wiggle this a little bit and get it off the end of the actuator. Notice on the interior where it mounts on the end of the actuator, it has like a little dowel pin area making a T. There'll be a coupler on the inside of this, so when you mount your new motor replacement, you want it in the same orientation as the one you took off. So when you put your new motor back up, you may need to just grab a pair of pliers, or on the override on the back side, you can spin this, turning that little T-shaft in there that's going to mount into that coupler on the end of the actuator. Get your new actuator motor, set it up in there till it locks into place in that coupler. You may have to manipulate this, turn it a little bit to get it to engage and seat into position. Just like so. I always like to take and put that bottom bolt in first because I can see the hole, then I'm aligned. And just get that started a few threads. Once I've done that, I can grab my top bolt. May have to wiggle it around a little bit and get that started as well. Once those are started, I can go ahead and take my 1/2 inch speed wrench. I'm going to tighten them back down. Just hand snug is fine. No need to over torque these. You don't want to strip these out. Once tightened down, ensure that your power and ground wires, the leads coming off the motor, are reconnected, whether that's to Wagos or some other kind of connecting point to the hot and the ground coming into the motor. If your actuator had an override shaft attached to it, ensure that you connect the override shaft again to the motor. That way, if you are in a situation and you needed to override the system, the motor went out, you could do that. You simply pull your cotter pin out of the new motor assembly, pull this nut, holding nut right off of the end of it, grab your override, line the hole up in the override shaft with the hole in the override shaft off the back of the motor, and reinsert your pin through both pieces of material until it's locked into place. In the event you're running one of the Tucson motors on the actuator versus the Venture, go ahead and locate the bolt. There's a single bolt versus the double bolt on the Venture actuator. 5/8. Break this nut loose. It's going to have the bolt and a lock washer. Set that off to the side so you don't lose it. You'll have to wiggle the motor around to disengage it from the coupler of the actuator. And simply slide it off. Inside, you'll notice that there's a flat spot there that engages the coupler that drives the actuator. You're going to want to ensure your new motor's lined up in the same manner. Once it is, take the new one, shove it on, turn it a little bit until it's engaging the actuator. Once it is, line your bolt holes up, start your 5/8 bolt, take your 5/8 wrench, seat it into place. Hand snug is fine, no need to over torque it. Once again, remember on the back of the actuator, there is an override option. So if the override shaft was present passing through the main rail on the opposite side of the coach, coming in, that you secure it and make sure you connect your leads up properly, again, to either your Wagos or some other form of electrical connection, and you're good to go.